Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we are diving deep into a topic that's probably on everyone's mind. How to seriously boost your productivity.
Mm.
We've looked at some fascinating source material that seems to strip it all down to one powerful concept.
Yeah, FOCES, just that one word.
Exactly.
And this material, it draws a lot from, research and the ideas in Mel Robbins' work on the 5-second rule. It highlights two really distinct types of focus.
Right. Both essential if you want to really, truly master productivity, not just like work harder.
Totally. So first you've got the moment-to-moment stuff,
Yeah.
managing distractions.
Yeah, just being able to concentrate on what's right in front of you.
And then second, there's the bigger challenge, maybe the harder one, making sure that focus is actually pointed at what's important.
Important to you, right, in the grand scheme of things. So your days aren't just filled with, well, the source calls it stupid stuff.
Pretty blunt, yeah. So we're going to explore both of these aspects. We'll dig into some specific research mentioned, why certain things work, why others maybe don't.
And look at how this hashtag 5-second rule is presented as a tool, a core tool, really, to help implement changes for both kinds of focus.
Right. So the mission here for this deep dive is to take these insights, kind of synthesize them.
And give you a shortcut to understanding how to apply this stuff so you're not just well-informed, but hopefully way more productive.
Let's start with that first layer then, tackling those distractions, the constant ones.
This feels incredibly relatable, doesn't it? The material makes this great point. Managing distractions is like sticking to health goals.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, you're rarely going to feel like doing it, like putting the phone down, ignoring that little ping.
Right, you just have to make yourself do it. Find that burst of activation energy.
Exactly. And a really crucial insight here is that just knowing stuff is bad for you doesn't cut it.
Knowing your phone or texting or email kills productivity. Intellectually, you get it.
But it doesn't actually change the behavior most of the time, does it?
No. Reading all the articles doesn't magically fix the habit.
And this is exactly where the hashtag 5-second rule is supposed to fit in, according to this material.
Okay.
You don't have to want to stop the distraction. You just use the rule, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And physically move. Push yourself to interrupt that pattern and actually do the thing you know you should.
Right. And for anyone maybe not familiar, that's the core mechanism, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Joe, act on the goal before your brain talks you out of it.
It's about interrupting hesitation, basically.
Yeah, it's that activation energy you mentioned. And the impact of not using it, of letting distractions win. Well, it's huge.
The material calls interruptions like any kind of interruption.
The kiss of death.
Yeah, the kiss of death for productivity. Pretty strong language.
It is. And it even mentions some research points like how open office plans can be, well, a nightmare for focus, just constant interruptions.
Makes sense. And checking email, that addictive pull.
Oh, totally. The source links that to behavioral research on random rewards.
Like a slot machine. You never know if the next email is important or just junk, so you keep checking.
Exactly. Reinforces the habit. So the core decision, really, it boils down to deciding your goals matter more than push notifications.
Sounds simple, but it takes conscious effort. A real decision.
And the action step that follows. It's not complicated, but maybe not easy. Just remove the distractions.
But the promise here is, if you use the rule 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to actually do it,
you'll get it done. And the source quotes someone saying, when you remove those easy distractions, you might have no idea how much it actually helps your focus.
Yeah. And there are some good examples in the material. Kendall, a high school student.
Right. She knew social media was just sucking away her time and focus from school.
And not just time, apparently, but making her feel insecure, comparing herself.
So she decided, okay, the best way is just to eliminate the temptation.
Just rip the Band-Aid off. She used that impulse moment, probably a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and deleted Instagram, VSEO, those photo apps.
And her quote is really telling. She said, after deleting it, it dawned on me how unimportant this stuff is. It was an involuntary action to click on it. Now that the apps are gone, I don't have the urge to look at it ever.
That involuntary action part, that's the key, isn't it? Breaking that automatic loop.
Absolutely. And it's not just digital stuff either. The material talks about Sarah.
Right. Sarah found physical clutter was her big focus killer. Just stuff everywhere.
Yeah, feeling bogged down. So she used the rule 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to tackle what the source calls emotional hoarding.
Making those quick decisions. Keep, donate, recycle, sell, trash.
5-second decisions.
Allah.
And afterwards, she felt amazing, not bogged down anymore.
So the point is, if you catch yourself getting distracted, phone, clutter, whatever, that awareness, that's power.
That's the moment you've woken up to it.
And that's when you use the tool. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Act. Remove the distraction.
Simple to start, as these examples show. And the payoff in focus and energy is apparently huge.
Okay, so that's tackling the immediate stuff, the moment-to-moment focus. But that leads us to the second type, maybe harder.
Yeah, potentially harder, and maybe more powerful. Directing that focus towards what actually matters, the big picture.
And the main strategy the source pushes for this, it's about your mornings.
Being a boss about your mornings, creating a real, structured morning routine.
Right. Taking control of the start of your day is framed as a total game changer for productivity overall.
It helps you consciously, set your intentions. It triggers a positive chain reaction, like Alyssa in the material.
She said she started to genuinely rule her days instead of the other way around.
And this is backed by research they mentioned from folks like Professor Dan O'Reilly at Duke.
Right, the peak brain time guy. He apparently points out that the first 2 or 3 hours after you're fully awake,
That's the sweet spot.
that's your brain's best window, peak cognitive function. So if you wake at 6, maybe 6:30 to 9:00 a.m. is prime time for thinking, problem solving, deep work.
But the reality for so many people, myself included sometimes, is morning chaos.
Oh, yeah. Pets, kids, breakfast, commute. You can easily burn an hour, maybe 2, of that prime time before you even think about your important work.
Which is exactly why the source says you need to get serious about mornings.
Yeah.
Often means getting up earlier than feels natural.
You have to consciously be the boss of that time. Direct your best energy to your big goals before the day's demands just take over.
Before the day hijacks you, basically.
Exactly. So the source material lays out a pretty specific step-by-step morning routine designed for this. Let's walk through it.
Okay, step 1. Seems simple but critical. Get up when the alarm rings.
And the material is super clear on this. No ambiguity. For peak productivity, never hit snooze.
Never. Wow. Why so absolute?
There's a neurological reason based on research they cite. It's about sleep cycles.
Okay.
So we sleep in cycles roughly 90 to 110 minutes long. Your body naturally starts preparing to wake up near the end of a cycle.
Right, so waking up then feels more natural.
Exactly. When your alarm goes off, then great. But hitting snooze, that tells your brain, false alarm. Start a new sleep cycle.
Uh-oh. So when the snooze alarm goes off 15 minutes later.
Your brain, specifically the prefrontal cortex, decision-making, focus, self-control, is like deep into that new 90-minute cycle it just started.
It's not ready to wake up again so soon.
Not at all. It needs another, 75 minutes or so to finish the cycle you triggered by snoozing. This causes that sleep inertia.
That groggy, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah. And the research suggests that grogginess can last up to 4 hours before you're fully cognitively functional again.
4 hours. Wow. So it's not just about total sleep, it's about how you wake up.
Precisely. The grogginess comes from interrupting that cycle, not necessarily lack of sleep overall. So, rule 1, no snooze. Alarm goes off, you get up.
Okay, non-negotiable. Step 2, walk to the bathroom, turn off the alarm. What's the strategy there?
It's about location. Put your phone or alarm clock physically out of reach from your bed, across the room, maybe even in the bathroom.
Oh, so you have to get out of bed.
You have to. It prevents that almost involuntary action, as Kendall called it, of just grabbing your phone while still in bed and starting to scroll.
Guilty's charged sometimes.
We all are. The data cited says most adults check email before getting out of bed. One study even found nearly half of people under 35 check their phones in the middle of the night.
Crazy. So forcing yourself out of bed breaks that immediate phone habit.
Yeah.
And maybe helps sleep too if the phone's not right there tempting you.
2 birds, 1 stone. Okay, step 3, brush your teeth, focus on the day.
So using that built-in hygiene time.
Exactly. While you're washing your face, brushing, flossing, use those few minutes to consciously gather your thoughts. Focus on just 1 or 2 things.
But specifically things for you, right? For your big goals.
Yes. The source calls this your must list, not just a to-do list. These are the essentials. The things you might not feel like doing, but you know you must do for your dreams, your business, whatever matters most.
The things that guarantee forward progress. Even the crap you've been avoiding, as someone put it.
Often especially the crap you've been avoiding. Okay, step 4. Get dressed, make the bed, walk to the kitchen, get coffee.
What's important about this sequence?
It's what hasn't happened yet. Notice.
No phone, no email, no internet.
Bingo. You deliberately avoid it because the instant you check email, news, social media,
Boom. Someone else's priorities jump the queue.
their demands, their crises, their curated perfection, it all gets ahead of your plan. The source asks, do Bill Gates or Oprah scroll feeds in bed? Probably Probably not.
Fair point.
Yeah.
You have to put your own oxygen mask on first, metaphorically. Prioritize yourself before the world rushes in.
Couldn't say it better. Step 5 then builds on this. Write down your 1 to 3 musts and why they matter.
Write them down physically.
Physically, somewhere visible, planner, notebook, sticky note on the monitor, somewhere you'll see it often.
Why writing specifically?
There's solid research behind this. Dr. Gail Matthews' study found people who physically write down their goals are like 42% more likely to achieve them than those who just think about them.
42%. That's significant. Makes it real.
Makes it concrete. And adding the why gives you that motivational fuel for when you inevitably don't feel like doing it. The idea is to visually cue yourself constantly.
To stock myself with my musts, as the source puts it.
Yeah, keep them front and center so you can't ignore them. Okay, step 6. Plan the day and take 30 before 7:30.
Okay, what's that? A specific time block?
It's a tactical tool. The idea is to plan and often start working on your most important must first thing before you check your phone or email for work.
So carve out 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Before 7:30 a.m. or adjust the time.
Yeah, 30 minutes before whatever time your main workday chaos usually begins. And crucially, where you do this matters.
Not at the office.
Definitely not the office, or even your main work desk if you work from home. Do it somewhere else, kitchen table, coffee shop, commute.
Why the separation?
Because the minute you sit down in your usual work spot and check that first email or take that first call or get pulled into a chat, your intentional plan is basically gone.
The day takes over.
Exactly. There's research cited about CEOs working at home for 90 minutes to get concentration versus being interrupted constantly at the office.
Ties back to Airlie's peak brain time again.
Absolutely. Those first couple of hours are for your deep work, your most important thinking. Filling them with reactive stuff like email and meetings is just, well, the source calls it stupid if you want real progress.
Harsh, but probably true for big goals. Reactive tasks don't usually move the needle much.
Rarely. So you have to intentionally claim and fight for those first few hours for yourself and your critical work.
Focusing on just 1 or 2 important musts first thing means you actually make progress. You win the long game.
Exactly. Jeremy, an example used, said setting up his day like this made him much more productive.
Okay, final step. Step 7. Plan your quitting time.
Yes. Just as important as starting right is stopping right. Consciously decide when you will end your workday.
To transition to personal time, family, rest.
Yeah, and this has a dual benefit, according to the material. First, knowing you have a deadline makes you more focused during work hours.
Parkinson's law, right. Work expands to fill the time.
Precisely. A quitting time creates a helpful constraint. And second, it's vital for mental health, preventing burnout.
You need that recharge time. Forces you to take the break your brain needs.
Definitely. The source even admits needing the 5-second rule sometimes just to make themselves stop working at the planned time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, close the laptop.
So putting this whole routine together, it's about putting your priorities ahead of daily fires.
Yeah, it gives you that feeling of control because you're directing things from the start. You get clarity, you can spot opportunities because you know what your real musts are.
And if you drift off during the day, get distracted.
That awareness is your cue. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pull yourself back to what matters.
And while this specific routine is laid out, you can customize it, right? Add exercise, meditation.
Absolutely. Add whatever serves your well-being. The core principle is structuring those peak morning hours intentionally.
But the underlying message seems to be, the steps are simple, maybe obvious. The power is in the doing.
And that's where 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 comes back in. It's the tool to make yourself do it when you don't feel like it.
The results sound pretty compelling from the examples. Marie feeling like a boss and starting a book.
Tony using the rule to get back to the 5 a.m. gym habit.
Christy hitting the highest rank in her company, feeling on fire.
It suggests these small, consistent actions, kickstarted by the rule, can have a big cumulative impact.
Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, it really comes back to focus. Managing the moment-to-moment distractions.
And mastering the big picture by owning those critical morning hours with a solid routine.
Applying these ideas,
Yeah.
often using that 5-second rule as the trigger. It really can be transformative. For productivity, sure, but maybe even more for just feeling in control.
Yeah, control of your day, your goals, your life.
And the source material leaves us with a final, really potent thought, something actionable for you, the listener, to consider right now.
It's simple. Start before you're ready. Don't prepare. Begin.
So think about everything we just talked about. The distractions, the routine, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Which one thing resonates most? Which single action could you just start? Right now, without overthinking it, without waiting for the perfect moment, just begin.